why you are applying to that program. You need to tell them why the program is going to be helpful to you. And remember, you are going to be saying nice things about this university, because also they want to know why you choose their university. And hey, beautiful people, welcome back to our YouTube channel, and thank you so much for watching this video today. Guys, we don't have a lot of time or much time to waste. Let's just dive into the video immediately. So today's video, I want to talk about some things that you need to know for those who intend to study in France. This is the process, and I will be telling you some things that you need to put into consideration. But first, please like this video for me so that YouTube can tell a neighbor somewhere or your friend that there is an important video here. And do not forget that if you share the video as well, another person is going to benefit from this. This is information sometimes you may not find on the internet. You can find it somewhere, but I believe if you find it from me, then that will be excellent, right? Thank you so much. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and remember, I am the chairman of the broke community. So let's talk about study guides to France. Now, if you intend to study in France, you should understand that you cannot move with a dependent to France as an international student. That is to say, you cannot apply for a university in France and you carry your wife or your children along, but they can always come to you or visit you later on when you are in France. There are some requirements that you need to put in order, or some things you need to put into consideration. Now, for you to study in France, you should understand that there are very good universities in France and quite affordable universities where you can pay 170 euros for a bachelor's program, 243 euros, not 47 euros for a master's program, and 370 euros for PhD. But these programs are not very common. These universities are not very common. What I mean here is there are just few of them. I mentioned that the University of Paris-Saclay is one school you can find such programs in, and you have the University of Orleans in English and Orleans in French. You can equally find the University of Saint Etienne. There is a school like that, and of course I think there is another school called the University of Paris Cité. Okay, some of these schools I just gave you now, they have very cheap and affordable tuition fees you can pay. And remember, when it comes to tuition in France, when you gain admissions and you apply for the visa, or before you apply for the visa, most universities in Europe will tell you to pay the tuition, right? But schools in France, you do not need to pay the tuition. You can pay the tuition when you go to France, and the same thing applies for Belgium and I think Luxembourg. Very certain about Luxembourg, but the same procedure applies for Belgium. But note that for France, when you gain admissions, all you need to pay is a semester contribution that is paid by every international student. Then when you enter France, you can now pay the tuition. If the tuition is 200 euros, you pay in France. If it's 4,000, 3,000, 2,000 euros, you pay in France. This is the procedure for French universities. Also remember that you can be considered for a scholarship if you apply for a program, then indicate that you want to be considered, you wish to be considered for a scholarship. Now, where am I driving to? I'm trying to tell you that most schools in France, there is a possibility for you to apply for the school and also apply for a scholarship using the same application link. That's when you apply, the school can consider you for a scholarship later on, depending on your grades and what they are looking for. Now, let's look at the requirements you need in order to study in France. Now, requirements means that the things that can qualify you, the things that makes you eligible for the program. And in this case, if you are going for bachelor's programs or a bachelor's degree program, you should understand that your WAEC certificate, your O levels and A levels, your WASI, your mature certificate, any high school certificate is a mandatory requirement for you to get a bachelor's program in France. And remember, most of the time bachelor's is in English and French, so you should understand that if you choose a program, make sure you check the language of instruction. It's so important. Then if you are going for master's, you need your bachelor's degree transcript and the certificate alongside your high school documents depending on the country you come from. WAEC is from Nigeria, O levels and A levels Cameroonians, NEP NAPTEC and NECO, Nigeria, WASI, Ghanaians and Liberians, and other nationalities. But remember, some schools may not accept your NAPTEC and NECO, so WAEC is the best document for you to put together for your application process to these various universities. In addition to these requirements, you also need what is called a CV. Now, CV is a curriculum vitae, right? Excellent. But remember, you are applying to a European country. And you have to note that the European country will be asking you for something called a Europass CV. Well, if you go online, you can see templates of a Europass CV. And if you equally check further, you can see how you can just put in your details and your CV will be produced to you in a Europass format. I hope you understand. So please put this into consideration when you are applying to French universities. Now, also remember that for you to migrate to France, you need some money, but I'm going to talk about that later on. You also need what is called a cover letter or statement of purpose. To me, I prefer the statement of purpose or motivation letter. This is how I call it. And this is the letter that is going to give you the program you are applying to or the program you want to study. And remember that when it comes to the cover letter or statement of purpose, you need to be able to tell the university why you are applying to that program. You need to tell them why the program is going to be helpful to you. And remember, you are going to be saying nice things about this university, because also they want to know why you choose their university and their country and not another university in another country. So put all of these things into consideration. It's so important. Equally understand that you need IELTS for some universities that will teach you in English. Now, this is not in every case. This doesn't occur in every, how do I put it? This doesn't occur in every school or every program. Some programs will tell you that if you studied in English or if you come from an English-speaking country, you are good to go. So you do not need to supply the IELTS exam. Now, these are your requirements. For you to do the application now, where are you going to start from? Some programs, you will do the application from the school website. Then some programs you are going to go through Campus France. And remember, if you apply through Campus France without going through the school website, it is Campus France now that is going to follow up everything. They will gather the documents for you. But remember, this service offered by Campus France is not free of charge. You have to pay for it. Then if you apply using a school website like Toulouse School of Management, most of the programs you have to do using the school website. When you do the program, the application using the school website, at the end of the day, you are going to supply your admissions letter to Campus France. You go back to Campus France, supply your admissions letter, then you get what is called attestation of admissions. Without this attestation of admissions from Campus France, you cannot apply for your study visa to France. I hope you understand this. It is so important for you to put this into consideration. Now, when you apply for the school using the Campus France website or maybe Institute and France, or maybe the school website, the next thing you need to do now is visa application. Now, let me draw your attention to the fact that during the visa process, you have to upload all your documents again to the Campus France website if you didn't apply using Campus France. All right, you have to go and create an account. Then there you are going to see a place where they will indicate that if you have an admissions letter, go to this place and upload all the documents. It's so important. Then after that, you can now go for an interview still with Campus France. Then if everything is okay, the Campus France will now tell you the documents to organize for visa application. This is basically how the procedure works, and before you know, you would be in France, in Paris, in Toulouse, in Saint-Etienne, in Orleans, or maybe where it depends, in Bordeaux or anywhere in France. Then another thing you should understand that when you are applying for the visa, there are visa documents. A part of the proof of funds, you also need to show, pay a fee to Campus France, like I explained before. Then you also need the attestation of admissions from Campus France. You also need your insurance, and again, insurance, everything, all these documents I'm talking about, you would find them on the Campus France website when it's time. It's not something you have to panic about. It's not something that is hiding. Everything, they will put it on the website. Remember, Campus France website should be your number one guidance when you want to move to France, because of what? It is simple. there are laws, there are changes every year, so you should put all this into consideration, because they can change the process, they might change everything, and before you know, you are looking at what was told last year. So let me say that put all this into consideration and make Campus France your first handbag. Okay, then you also need an insurance to apply for the visa. You also need accommodation, flight bookings. Remember, this is a booking, you are not paying. Then you need your admissions letter and proof of funds. Now for proof of funds, this is where the trick is. You don't need a blocked account. France does not ask for blocked account. For proof of funds, the minimum monthly allowance you need is 635.38, like that. So for your proof of funds, you need to multiply 638 or 35 euros or 38 between this time, between like the range, right? Multiply 638 times 12, then you get your money for 1 year. That is the money you need as the money for living costs. And again, remember, you have not added your tuition fee. So in addition to your tuition fee, if your tuition was 2,000, you add 2,000 to it. If your tuition was 4,000, you add 4,000 to it. If your tuition was 270 euros, you add 270 euros to this amount, this living cost money. So this is how it is. Do not forget, accommodation is very important, and for you to book accommodation, your school will always send a link to you for you to book accommodation. But even if they do not send, you can ask them and they can link you up. So it's very important. So this is all you need to study in France. Right now, some schools are still open, some are closed already. About 80% of French universities are closed, so you can't apply now. But when they are open, you should check around October, November, December, January, February. These are the periods French universities are usually open for you to do your application. I hope you enjoyed this. Till we meet again in another one.